Hi guys! So as promised on my story, I'm going to do a little live about how to start modeling. So I get so many questions in my inbox and I can't always respond to all of you. So here's like my blanket answer to how to start modeling. And I just want to preface this saying that I have been in this industry for a long time, but everything that I know, it could be different than what other models' experiences are. So take what I say with a grain of salt. If I say something that you're like, that's definitely not true for me, or that goes against my morals, values, or who I am as a person, just block it out. So, because honestly, that's my first tip for how to start modeling is you have got to know who you are and what your brand is, what your personal brand is, and that is going to take you far. And there's going to be so many people, agents, photographers, makeup artists, so many people telling you that you need to do this, this, and this. And some of them are so right, and they may have a great advice for you, but some of them don't, or it might not fit, it may not feel good inside, and that probably means that it's not for you. And so, yeah, take it all with a grain of salt, y'all. So, okay, my first tip, I was asked, how do you start modeling? By Lo. What's the first step? So, first of all, if you want to start modeling at any point in your life, then this is the time and age to do it because of social media, there's such a huge platform to put yourself out there and open yourself to opportunities in modeling. And there's so many photographers that you can connect with and work with. And to be a model, you've got to have great photos taken of you. So it's a very collaborative time in our industry. So take advantage of that. How do you really start modeling? If you're talking about getting paid gigs, you're gonna need an agent to get paid gigs. You can get some through social media just by putting yourself out there, but to really get paid to make a living in this industry, you need an agent. So all the top agencies all will have an info page on their website that will say contact, and most of them have it set up that you literally have to just submit Polaroids of yourself. They don't want professional photos. They literally want the kind of photo that your friend or mom or dad or boyfriend or cousin or whoever can take, just a good photo of you in natural lighting and with next to no makeup, probably in a bathing suit or just a tight kind of tank top and jeans. And most agencies will want those submitted to them, and you can kind of start with that, cross your fingers, and hopefully one of those agencies will want to meet you. Yeah, so that's the very beginning. But when you start modeling, the main thing you need is images. You need to be able to show people that you can be more than just one thing and what you look like in a photo, because that's going to be your new way to make a living. So when you start, you may have to pay for a test shoot, and rates on test shoots, it's such a broad spectrum. I've seen as low as 200 up to 1,000. I personally, I don't think that you want to overspend on early test shoots because you need more than one. You can't sell yourself just with one photographer's version of you. So budget accordingly and start with one, either someone that your agency recommends or someone that has very strong models that they're shooting with. Try to get it down to those lower rates. Try to get someone to do your hair and makeup for a lower cost and do just really simple styling. Maybe you can do it yourself from your own closet, or ask the photographer, makeup artist, hairstylist to kind of help be a collaborative effort. But I think it would be much more worthwhile to do three $300 shoots than to do one $1,000 shoot if you're just starting with photos. This also goes for acting. I don't understand $1,000 headshots. I just don't get it. But not to knock those photographers, congrats that you're making a living. And everyone deserves to be paid $1,000 for their work. That's awesome. But I just think when you're starting out, it's better to have, you want high quality, but it's better to have quantity. You need different looks of yourself. So how do you prepare for a shoot? So a shoot, you need, if you have a hair and makeup artist on set. So whether that's a job or a test, just know that information before you get there. The best thing to do is be like a total blank canvas. So if you have extensions in your hair, if you're considering being a model, it might be best to switch to clip-ins because it just makes you more versatile. They can do so much more updos and so many different looks, rather than being like always with extensions. If you have those like fake eyelashes that are permanent on your face, maybe stop doing that, because it's just, you just want to be like this blank canvas that they can turn into what works for their brand or what works for the mood of the day. No fake nails. I always keep my nails like a nude or light pink color or like literally nothing, and I just put a nail strengthener on it. You want to have that because if you have your nails gelled or fake or acrylic, all those things, and you show up to a shoot and the vibe is super natural, it's really hard to make your fake nails look natural. So that's my advice. I know not everyone does it, but that's what I do. And also for a shoot, if you're doing especially like bikinis and lingerie, be aware of tan lines. I literally got fired from a job because I had tan lines like very early in my career. So if you do have tan lines, then you gotta get a really light spray tan to sort of even those out. Or ask the client, if it's a bikini client, maybe they want like a really deep tan. Maybe you're shooting outside and you're gonna get a lot of reflection from the sun. You're gonna wash out. So they might be okay with you doing a spray tan, which obviously is gonna help a lot getting rid of any tan lines, but also try not to get tan lines. SPF 100 all day, every day. It's better to do the spray tan than to age your skin in the sun and have tan lines that could make you lose a job, for real. Someone asked what my first modeling job is and how old I was. I started modeling when I was 14 originally. And it was for Drysdale's, which is a catalog that sells like Western wear. So I literally would model with horses and I kind of loved it. And I was young and I was living in Oklahoma, and at the time I was working at like the Smoothie King and making, $9 an hour, which actually was pretty good. But to get on set and to be able to like make real money, and I thought it was so fun, and I got to hang out with horses all day, which I loved. So that was my first job, which also brings me to my next point. Those images are still running 15 years later, so please don't sign perpetuity contracts. Perpetuity means forever. And every agent will tell you, like, no, they're not gonna keep running them, I promise. 15 years later, you guys. No joke. Just don't sign perpetuity. Have some limit. Because then, if you have a limit, I did a campaign for Aussie Hair Care, and they kept buying those year after year because they loved the images. So I got paid, again, for doing literally nothing. Yeah. So make sure your contracts protect you. You don't need to sell someone your image for the rest of time to be able to be a model. Seriously. Sorry, agents. I know agents hate when I say things like that. But it's real. What else? Someone said, do you run out of ideas when you're posing? I actually totally have. Sometimes at the end of the day when you're like tired and you're kind of brain dead, I feel like I'm like, what am I doing? Like, have I done this yet? So one of the best ways to learn how to pose for a photo shoot is to watch YouTube videos. So Google like all the greatest of all times, like Kate Upton, Kate Moss, anyone that's name is Kate. No, just Google how to model, literally. Google the supermodels that are, making $1 million plus every year, and get inspo from them, because you'll learn that posing is to me, it's kind of like dancing. It's kind of like a constant flow of movement. So you're always getting new angles and new things for the photographer. And also just have a great awareness of how quick your photographer is shooting. Because if they're shooting super, super fast, then that gives you a lot of freedom to sort of like be free. But if they're shooting slow, like find a good pose, like know where your body is supposed to be, where it looks its best, and then move. But yeah, that's my little posing advice. And also know how big the frame is, because as Tyra Banks always taught us, like, it's head to toe modeling. And literally your toes can mess up an image that's head to toe if they're like just being awkward, if you just weren't aware. So know what your frame is, because if it's really tight, then you don't have to move the rest of your body. Like, you can literally just move your face in tiny increments, and that photo entirely changes with every single tiny millimeter you move. So yeah, know your frame, because if they're getting that full body, girl, you got to work your toes. You really do. And hands are so awkward. You guys know I'm so awkward. I have 1,000 photos that I still love, but are of me like my hand is out here. It just stays awkward. So be aware of your hands. That's advice that I need to take. Someone asked if I have a power song that I listen to. I feel like it's not just one. I have to pay attention to what the mood of the shoot is going to be. So, one of like the best things that I ever learned, I used to be a stand-in for this incredible model, and she so I would stand and they would do light testing on me while she like got ready, and I saw her show up on set with a huge playlist of like everything that she loved to listen to, and she put it on and like instantly was moving to how that went. And I always thought that was so cool, and I still don't do that, but take that tip and run with it. Like, make a playlist of what inspires you and moves you, because that's going to help get the feel of the shot, and it's going to like keep you energized all day. What's my most awkward shoot? I have had so many awkward shoots. I've modeled underwater. I've modeled like hanging off of rocks. I've literally had to like climb a wall wearing stilettos. Like hung off of ladders really high. America's Next Top Model, when they do the model challenges, I used to laugh and be like, what is that? No one has to do that. They are real. Like, real life photographers and creative directors, they want to do something new and different. So you're going to be put in some weird positions, but trust it and go with it. Unless it's something that's outside of your morals or comfort level. Don't feel like you have to like be hanging off of a ladder if you're scared of heights. That's silly. You don't have to do that. Not every model is willing to. Like, for instance, I was asked to do this shoot, and I was asked if I would be willing to jump off a 50-foot cliff as part of the shoot at some point. And I had to realize that 50 feet is like 5 stories, which is very high. And I ultimately, like, I've jumped off of cliffs probably like 25, 30 feet, and realized that like I probably don't need to risk my life for this shoot. So I let it go, and it was fine. But yeah, so don't do anything you're not comfortable with. Okay, Marley is 5'3", and so she asked, how do you start modeling when you're 5'3"? Again, I just want to say that this is the time to be a model, because there's such a good chance to get discovered because of social media. So think of social media. I'm a bad example right now because it's kind of like all my vacation photos, but think of social media as your online portfolio, and keep shooting with great photographers, keep putting content on there, keep reaching out to agents and managers that might have the capacity to help your career. Look at other models that you aspire to and who's representing them and who they're shooting with, and do your best to try to shoot with those people. Or find other models in your area and see what are they doing, who are they shooting with, who are they working with. So that all of that can like really help you and inspire you, no matter what height or weight or whatever. This is the time, like, just be you. Use whatever you call like a disadvantage as your advantage, because whatever is uniquely you is yours. And yes, there's like a like industry standard that models are 5'9" to 5'11", but I think all of that's changing. So like, just go do it. Go try, keep trying. Someone asked me what the average annual rainfall in the Amazon basin is. This is a real question I got today. It's 2,300 millimeters. So you're welcome. Just call me Google. How do you gain a social media following without sacrificing your morals? Y'all, that's like, I feel like so many people struggle with this. It's hard to gain a social media following. I look at it like a job. I ask all my friends that are active and have a lot of users their advice. I've created kind of like a community of people that are in modeling or acting or hosting or bloggers, and we try to learn from each other and expand. It's very collaborative. But definitely, like, just don't do anything you're uncomfortable with. I promise you, Instagram followers are not worth, like, you feeling overexposed or, like, no, it's not worth it. So stick to you, keep doing you, and hopefully the followers will respond to your authenticity. I think that's the main way that I've been able to build any kind of following, and I hope that you guys do hold me accountable to that, to just stay myself and stay the course, and trust that what I'm doing is right for the people that are following me. And when I lose followers, then that's okay, because they're moving on to other things, and you just gotta stay true to you. That's my advice on that. How often do you travel? Andrea asked that. Kind of a lot. I've gotten used to sort of being on planes and sleeping on planes. Try to get used to that. But I also have gotten so much pickier as the years go on what I'm willing to travel for. It has to be a really good job or a really good opportunity or somewhere that I've never been, because it's very wearing if you travel all the time. And you just gotta, whatever energizes you. For me, traveling, I love it, but it drains me. So I've got to like protect my energy, and that makes me be better at the castings that I have in LA, to be able to just like self-protect and only do the jobs that I really need to do out of town. Which also brings me to Ashley's question. How do you expand your market? Ashley is a model in Chicago. She's stunning. Ash, put your pictures out there on agencies' websites. So go to, all the major agencies. I said it earlier, they will have submissions on their website. Go submit. And then if that doesn't work, talk to your agent in Chicago. They probably have connections, and ask them to set up meetings. You may have to do a trip that's going to be out of your own pocket to go to New York or Miami or LA, and that could be on you, but making that trip and taking those meetings could really take your career to the next level. I took a total leap when I moved to LA. Didn't have an agency when I moved here, but I did within my first week, because I was just so motivated and dedicated to getting an agent. Like, I was like, I'm here to model, this is what I'm doing, and agents really responded to that. And yeah, sometimes you just gotta go take the leap. Honestly, if you're doing well in your own market, and you're sort of building that portfolio and have those images, then the larger markets will probably respond to you. And honestly, there's no way for you to know unless you put yourself out there. So good luck. Keep challenging yourself. Someone said, am I too old? Oh, Veronica said, am I too old? She's 21. Look, Veronica, I feel you, girl. I said earlier, I started modeling at 14. My long story short is that I had some really harsh agent recommendation at the time that I needed to lose 4 inches from my hips, which is like not a real thing. It's really difficult to do. And I took that advice really literally, and I got myself into a really bad situation where I was doing just really like not healthy things for myself, and I hated my body and really didn't like myself. And luckily I finally talked to my parents about it and told them that I really felt out of control and like I hated myself, and I got in therapy, and my parents were so supportive, and my sister was so supportive, and I had to sort of recover and step back from modeling, and just learn to love myself for me, and like not let everyone's advice be the final truth, because honestly, that agent was wrong. As much weight as I lost, and I got down to the very scary numbers, my hips didn't move much because they're hips. It's hard to lose hips. Anyway, so basically, like, she was saying she doesn't accept like my pear-shaped figure, and you can't change that. You're born with some things, and you just can't let people get in your head. And so, Veronica, I'm coming back to your question. Sorry, I know this is a total ramble. My parents encouraged me, instead of my plan after high school was to start modeling, and they very strongly and strictly encouraged that I go to college first and just not be a full-time model. So I modeled on the side during college, had some great opportunities through that, grew my book, and then stepped out at age 22 after college when I graduated, and I tried to go meet with agents, and so many agents were like, you are way too old and your book is not strong enough and get out of here. But it was persistence. I had to keep getting good photos, doing good tests, and I sort of proved those agents wrong. And it's funny now for me to think, like, at 22 that I was told I was too old to model, because like now I'm 29 and I'm just getting sort of my dream clients now at 29. So no, Veronica, you ain't too old, and don't listen to anyone that says you are, for real. So many people have asked me this all the time. Actually, first, so many people ask me, how much do you have to pay to get an agent? Nothing. If an agent asks you for money, just say no. Just say no. Agents make money because you make money. So if you get a job and you get paid $1,000, they are going to take 20% of that contract. That's pretty much the base. And they also get 20% from the client. So they'll charge the client $1,200, they'll take that top, and then they'll take from your cut as well. So no, you should not be paying an agent to sign with them. Please don't. I didn't know that was still a thing, but that's a scam. Run. Do not walk away from that agent. If agents are asking you to pay for tests, that's not to be with them. That's a separate thing. You have some early cost in modeling that you do need to pay for some tests. I missed questions on this already. Sorry, guys. I think I kind of covered it. How do you prepare for a shoot? Show up without your extensions and without your stuff on. Just have your hair dried and ready. Bring nude undergarments, like a nude G-string, a nude strapless bra. I bring a nude regular bra as well because I don't like wearing a strapless all day. So if I can not, then that's ideal. I also bring nude pasties because I just like to be in control in that way, that you can wear that under a bikini, and if anything was see-through, it's not anymore. So that's just a self thing. Also bring stuff like lotion. That's always really helpful. And if it's a test, bring your own makeup kit, because on a client shoot, you got to trust the makeup artist and hairstylist for whatever they're creating. But on a test shoot, these photos are to sell you. So if someone does something wrong, go correct something really quick on your own. So bring your own makeup. And also tell makeup artists and hairstylists what it's like to work with your hair, or your face. So if you have hair that does not hold curl, let the person know when you sit down so they can know how to adjust to that and try to do more product so it holds better, so they don't have to keep doing it over and over throughout the day, because this stuff more than this random person you've never met. So just give them a heads up, and then let them run with it. Don't direct them as they do your hair. But I always do that when I sit down in a makeup chair. I tell every single person, my eyebrows are uneven, please make them even. This is my daily struggle. So that's what I do when I sit down, because otherwise I literally had a shoot that they wanted really dark brows and they painted them super dark, and I had not told them how uneven they were. And when they are super dark, it was I don't even know. It was crazy. So yeah, let them know so they can adjust accordingly. That's a really weird note to end on, so I'm going to look for if you guys have any other questions. Always feel free to ask me questions. I'm sorry that I don't get back to everyone in the inbox. Sometimes my DMs are scary, so sometimes I stay away. But yeah, if you're going to model, if that's what you want to do, go do it. Don't let anyone try to stop you. Just go after your dreams. And also, I've never just been a model. I've kind of done a little bit of everything. So doing that takes the pressure off. I act, I host, and those kind of opportunities take the pressure off modeling. So you don't have to say yes to everything that you don't want to do. And so you don't get totally heartbroken when that job doesn't come through that you thought was going to completely change your life. Which brings me to my last question. So many of you ask this all the time. What do you do when you get rejected? Y'all, it's just a fact of life. When you're in the entertainment industry, you're going to get rejected 9 times out of 10. And so it's something you can't let it affect you. You can't let it change you and who you are, or let it reflect on who you are as a human. Just keep doing morning affirmations. I do morning and evening affirmations.